Founder and CEO of investigative journalist organization Project Veritas is reportedly leaving the company he founded in 2011. This is James Okeefe. Of course, we have brought you this saga, this ongoing saga that started when, there were 16 staffers who tried to oust him from the leadership of his own company, claiming, he's difficult to work with. He once took a sandwich from an 8-month pregnant woman. He needs to be fired. And, you go through these claims. I know James. James has sat at this table before, and they sounded an awful lot like people misunderstanding someone who is a very results-driven, very, I would argue just maybe the social skills aren't there, but it doesn't really matter because we all know James. We all know what James' intentions are, and he wants results. And he got results anyway when he was at the helm of Project Veritas, but he's gone now. And I want to explain to you how this transpired and what we know because there have been some conflicting reports. Neil McCabe of OAN, who calls James a friend, broke the story on Twitter. He said that James Okeefe delivered his resignation in person to his staff at their office in New York. However, shortly after Neil McCabe posted that, Project Veritas' press secretary, and I would mind you, very, very close confidant, I would say, of James Okeefe, this is R.C. Maxwell, he stated that report that he resigned was not accurate and that James was removed from his position as CEO by the Project Veritas board. He said they are in charge now. Now, that was on Twitter, okay? I'd like to, however, just allow James to say it in his own words because later, James Okeefe just put it all out there. And he told the world he was stripped of all authority as CEO and removed from the board of directors. Watch.
Even so, as a former board member told me 10 years ago, Project Veritas will never be stopped from the outside. It will only be because we stopped ourselves, right? I'll get to that too in a minute. Prophetic as it may be, that is exactly where we find ourselves in the situation today. A situation where I've been stripped of my authority as CEO and removed from the board of directors. I bet you didn't know that. I'll get to that in a minute. Contrary to what public statements may say. Later that same day, that's Thursday, February 2nd, a few days after the 50 million viewed Pfizer videos, I was informed by a different officer of Project Veritas that he would go to the board in a few hours from that moment and have an emergency vote to restructure this company. Receiving an agenda in my email while I was sitting on an airplane tarmac with the doors closing, the meeting was scheduled for the moment that my plane landed in Nashville. It became clear to me in that moment I would be removed from my position at Project Veritas by the time I landed at my destination. So, our mission continues on. I'm not done. The mission will perhaps take on a new name, and it may be no longer called Veritas, Project Veritas. I'll need a bunch of people around me, and I'll make sure you know how to find me. So with that, I'm going to collect my things. I'm going to load them into my car. And I hope to see some of you soon.
That wasn't it, though. He did come with some receipts, I would like to add, from text messages of a particular board member, basically promising raises to staffers if they went along with the Okeefe ousting. Watch.
This is now Friday, February 3rd. A board member reached out to one of our journalists and stated, quote, "You get a raise if there is a restructure without James Okeefe at Project Veritas." I have a copy of the text message, and I'll give it to all of you. I redacted the name of the journalist. The board member deleted the message, but not before our journalist took screenshots. Good job, journalist. On Sunday, February 5th, now that's Sunday, 2 days after the Friday, a board member requested my presence at his home. He informed me, quote, "You had nothing to do, James, with this Pfizer story," unquote. Perplexed by this, I took out my iPad and showed him a video of myself confronting the Pfizer executive, which had 11 million views on YouTube. He responded, quote, "But that was after the undercover video had already been done."
It's hard to imagine what is going through these board members' heads who are in favor of this. And I would just like to, Alex and I know for a fact, know at least one of these board members personally. I'm going to avoid using names because I don't know who is behind what. I would like to believe that the person that I know would not make such a horrendous decision. It's unclear at this point. But James Okeefe is just going to go on and form another organization, and everyone who's worth it will follow him. Like, it blows my mind that they literally just want to blow up their entire organization. And for what? Because they were sad that, like, some, undercover journalist didn't get the credit and James Okeefe got it for them. Like, it's his company. He founded it. He runs it. He's the face of it. Get over it.
Yeah, the purpose of a board is to make sure your company thrives and gets better and better and better. And they just assassinated their company right now. And I'm kind of laughing though. I mean, you just threatened and fired the guy that is going to come at you with all guns blazing, figuratively. I guarantee you, there's going to be some videos that drop of all of these board members that were involved in some cafe, as we always see these videos, spilling all the beans. It's going to happen. He'll get you. He's coming.
God, wouldn't that be so amazing?
Yeah, I don't doubt it at all. But I mean, they just dropped the person that made that company that is that company. I don't care if he calls it Project McDonald's. It's still going to be just as effective as Project Veritas was. And it's just all the attention is going to move there. No one is going to trust Project Veritas, the company now, especially after these FISA videos dropped. Because everyone's going to be like, even if they weren't pressured, that's what we're all going to be thinking.
Right. And why was the timing now? Right? Why was the timing right after the Pfizer video was released? That doesn't make any sense.
No, that doesn't make sense. And I'd like the January 6th committee to watch all of this, because this is what a real coup looks like. It's not the QAnon shaman just going in and decertifying an election. This is an actual deep state, people going against the founder and removing him because of some sort of esoteric, clandestine, motivation from outside of Project Veritas. I'm guessing, because I don't believe a guy that founded that company that yelled at some people because they have a very high-stakes situation, yelling at an employee about a sandwich or about their work ethic. That's normal. That's normal here at The Blaze. It's normal at any production company. When you're creating content, you have deadlines. Sometimes people get mad, and sometimes there's a lot of pressure. But that's not an excuse to oust him. So for me, I know it's a huge red flag that there's, once again, I'm a tinfoil hat conspiracy theorist. There's some sort of conspiracy to get him out, to weaken Project Veritas, because all day long we can say, oh, everybody's going to follow him to, Project James, whatever the new one is. But still,
McDonald's.
Project McDonald's, what he built is getting destroyed. And that, in essence, makes his job 10 million times harder, because he's got to restart and recreate all that from the beginning. And I'm not saying that James can't do it. It just makes his job challenging, and the people that he's going after, now they can rest a little easier at night knowing that it's going to take a little longer for James to get all of his ducks in a row for him to be able to expose them in the future.
Yeah, and I want to be very clear when I said, James Okeefe, I know him. I think he's a tremendous guy. You will meet no one more dedicated and passionate and perhaps maybe obsessed with the cause, right? Yeah. Which is not a knock on him. That's a good thing. We need more James. He's the only one who had the idea to do this type of guerrilla-style journalism. Look at what he has built. And when I say, socially, he's not a warm person, right? When I say the social skills maybe not there, he admits it in his full speech. He goes on to say something to the effect of like, I'm not going to ask you how your Thanksgiving was, right? I don't know the names of your siblings. Maybe I should work on that a little bit. And I'm kind of like, I don't think you need to. Well, I don't need a boss to coddle me. I don't need a boss I don't need the pleasantries. I'm here to do a job, and you are paying me to do that job. That's it. Anything else it's nice. It's not necessary.
Well, I look at it like a football coach. Some football coaches are nice. Some football coaches are
Right.
mean. But at the end, they both want to win. James is more of this hard-nosed type of football coach.
And look at the results that he got.
Exactly right. So I think with these people, at least on the left, they always say, the means justify the ends. I don't really think that is with James. I just think he's a hard-working guy that's dedicated, that's passionate about it. And sometimes somebody that might not have the same passion as him might take it as an insult or knock because he wants to get something done or, because he speaks to him in some sort of way. But trust me, that's just because he's passionate about actually making change. And sometimes you have to crack a few eggs to make an omelet.
Yeah, but I don't believe for 1 second that's the issue here.
Yeah, I don't think
There's
so.
no freaking way.
No.
Those Pfizer videos were the largest in how many years of theirs? They blew up.
Right.
And for good reason.
Yeah.
We should still be asking questions about those videos instantly. His job is at stake.
Right. So who is compromised on the board, right? And here's what I want to know. Obviously, it took some coaxing, the 16 staffers or whatever who signed on to this memo that James Okeefe hurt my feelings. You should fire him. So
yeah, they were probably threatened with things like that text message.
Yeah, and it probably wasn't that much
You
coaching.
want a raise?
Yeah, but I'm saying that if you want a raise, it doesn't take that much coaching. You want to make more money? Yeah, I need more money. I mean, everybody needs more money.
Well, I don't know. I would just still like to see the, hey, anyone on the inside at Project Veritas, what I would like to know are the ages of all of these 16 staffers, because I would guess that they're all 25 and younger. They're just a bunch of Gen Zers, a bunch of young people who don't understand work ethic, and they're very upset that they didn't have more. They didn't get more attention. They didn't get the recognition they deserve. They didn't have a say in who James Okeefe hired. I really would love to see the ages on that.
That is the new journalism thing now, right? Is where the journalist is the star.
Right.
The journalist is the focus of the story.
Right.
The information they're breaking is just, oh yeah, that stuff too, but look at me.
Right, exactly. Which, I will just say, if you keep giving the spotlight to all of these undercover journalists, we're going to run out of them because everyone's going to see what they freaking look like, and we won't be able to use them anymore. Gee, maybe James was onto something there.
If you like that clip, there is plenty more where that came from. Click the link in the description below to subscribe to the News and Why It Matters YouTube channel to watch the full episode.